Hey, Inertia TV, daily news of the day, weekly. I can't keep up with the daily news of the day. Too much, or maybe not enough news. I don't know. But so we're gonna make it a weekly compendium. And today is a Saturday. Look at this. I'm on the top of Sugarloaf Mountain, and today would have been in a normal year the Patch Sprint mountain running race, which for years I loved to do. Not so much now because of carrying a little extra poundage there, but decided to get out and celebrate what would have been the race today with my own personal Patch Sprint, which is just going to be Sugarloaf Mountain. Normally it's like 13 miles and 4 mountains, but all I got in me is one of them today. But it's absolutely spectacular, right? And so, yeah, we're going to switch the format to a weekly, and we'll have interesting segments. We'll have the Harvester discusses. We'll have None More Metaler, where the Hand of Doom will come and we'll talk about important metal issues. We'll cover Chasm Riders racing, Peru Nordic Masters ski racing, mountain biking, hiking, and of course everything executive disorder as we move into summer and hopefully phase out of NY pause a little bit. All right, brothers and sisters, peace. I don't know if you can tell, but the mayflies have definitely hatched. They love my car. And there they go. Here at the world famous Chasm Riders trails. So usually the day after the Patch Sprint, we have a mountain bike race here, and like everything else, it's kind of been race on your own. So I'm going to do the first half of the Overkill loop, second half of Mega Over Death, which is exactly 6.66 miles. Check it. More mayflies. Nice. All right, Inertia TV, as I promised, now that we're on a weekly, not a daily, because I can't keep up with all the news. I got the Hand of Doom here.
Hey, everyone.
And as I said, there was a None More Metaler was this segment where we talk about metal things. And there's nothing more metal than the U.S. Civil War. How do I know that? Because we just listened to Ice to Earth, The Glorious Burden, which is, it's a great record. It's okay. It's like Iron Maiden Light. At least the Ripper sings on that one. So I asked the Hand of Doom, tell me, what are some of the most metal things about the Civil War that you get? First of all, here, let me stop.
One of the biggest metal things about the Civil War is the fact that Stonewall Jackson, I hold his arm here, he was wounded in 1863, shot in the arm by one of his own troops. Accidentally, they amputated his arm, and it was, usually they just take that kind of stuff and they throw it out behind the field hospital, with the other limbs, but they realized that that's Stonewall Jackson's arm. So what they did was they kept it and they buried it in a place called Chancellorsville, Virginia. And then, soon after, Stonewall Jackson died of pneumonia, and he was buried on his family's property. But his arm has its own grave. So if you guys ever want to go pay tribute to it, you can go visit it in Chancellorsville, Virginia.
So you want me to go pay tribute to an arm that hated the United States of America?
That hated it? Well, I'm just telling you, you're asking the question, what's so metal about the Civil War? And I'm saying the fact that Stonewall Jackson had his arm blown off and it was buried separately.
Yeah, that's pretty metal.
That is pretty metal.
Except for he hated America.
He was a Confederate. Yeah, that's true.
That's true. Tell me on the the correct side. Who's the bet on the correct side of the war between the states?
Yep.
The war of northern aggression. Who's the most metal general?
William Tecumseh Sherman, man.
Yeah?
Yep. One of my favorite things that he would do with metal was what was called the Confederate bow tie. So as he was ordered to march from Atlanta to Savannah, he cut a 60-mile swath of destruction with 60,000 troops. And what they did was to destroy the infrastructure of the South, they would rip up the rail lines And then, rather than just toss them aside, they took them, they heated them, and then they would bend them around the trees. So if you did a little search, look up Confederate bow tie on YouTube, you're going to see there's still trees in the South with a rail tie wrapped around it.
And tell me about the butcher.
The butcher. So the butcher, that was Grant. The butcher, he had great approval from Lincoln because he knew that the greatest resource that the North had was people. Because cities like Boston and New York City had this tremendous influx of immigrants coming from Europe, and the Union recruiters would sit right there, recruit these people just as they get off the boat, give them $50, give them a new suit, and send them off to places like Fredericksburg and Chancellorsville, take the first charge. And so knowing that the South just didn't have that resource, people, and that they were eventually going to run out, Grant knew that just keep on throwing human beings at the South until they run out of bullets and ammunition and supplies.
Nice.
I got
All
some
right.
more stuff you want metal too later on.
Oh, okay, we'll come back. Here we are, Memorial Day. Again, we've been talking about the Civil War, the United States, you would argue the bloodiest war. And was it the most metal of wars? We don't know, but we're discussing what's metal about it. And we talked about the most metal generals, but now the Hand of Doom has the most metal moment of the Civil War.
Monitor versus Merrimack, two ironclad ships, basically squared off against each other at what's now it was a Hampton Roads, Virginia, or around Virginia Beach.
Yeah, Norfolk, right?
Yeah, Norfolk. And they basically fought to a draw. Neither one was able to actually sink the other ship.
And what were their hulls made out of?
They're plated iron.
So their hulls were?
Metal. That's metal. I got some more metal.